Come on, let's do it. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I love that dress. I'm looking forward to that cocktail. I don't know if I should say this on camera. You were conceived at the Rod and Gun Club in Everglades City.
Don't say we never gave you anything. Bourbon is your friend. We like you, Kent, but there's a reason why you don't do the flowers for the rest of the hotel. Hi, welcome. I'm Sarah Wetenhall, and we're coming to you live from the Colony Hotel. And today, joining me is Rick Rose. Thank you for coming today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, let's start with a little cheers,
yes.
shall we? Because we have these.
This is the Palm Beach Spritz.
I love it. Well, cheers.
It's fresh, refreshing.
Is it grapefruit? What am I tasting? Do you know?
I discovered this at Evening on Antique Brew for this historical society. And I just thought, I was so fascinated, and I read up on the whole background. That's Munyon's pawpaw. Now, this is a homeopathic liqueur that was created in the late 1800s by a gentleman named Dr. James Munyon.
Yeah. 20% alcohol by volume, apparently.
Yeah.
And so is the pawpaw a fruit?
It's a fruit.
That this is
yes,
that the
so
liqueur is distilled
pawpaw
from.
Is an old abbreviation local for papaya.
Ah,
And the alcohol comes
there you
from
go.
fermented papaya.
Rick Rose is our local historian
Yes.
by way of introduction. So that's
Yeah.
how we're getting all these wonderful fun facts. And how did you end up as our local historian? Have you always loved history? Did you study for it? Did you fall into it? Tell us your story.
Yeah, I was away for 25 years. I lived in Europe, and over all those years, I was coming back to visit mom here in West Palm Beach. Each year, I was thinking, well, gee, this wasn't such a horrible place to grow up
Not such a bad
here.
idea
Not such
after
a
all.
bad- So 20 years ago, I came back and opened a boutique inn, a bed and breakfast over in West Palm Beach, and I was frustrated that all the guests didn't know the difference between Palm Beach and Palm Springs.
Yep.
So I thought, you know what, I'm going to correct that. So I thought I'll put together a tour for guests of the B&B. And I always like to say, a local historian, it's a hobby for me, but it has become a passion. So then I wrote a book, as
Indeed,
you know,
indeed.
which became the leading guide to Palm Beach and a curated guide.
Yep. I want a tidbit. Like, give me what people don't know.
One little story about the colony that no one ever talks about. I end my tour, by the way, on Worth Avenue every week. One interesting incident that occurred was when Aristotle Onassis brought Sir Winston Churchill across the Atlantic on the Christina O and held a reception for him at the Palm Beach Yacht Club. The party that he held on the yacht was to introduce President Kennedy to Sir Winston Churchill. He'd never met Sir Winston Churchill. So that was a gift that Onassis was doing for President Kennedy to bring him over and hold him the reception here in Palm Beach. And coincidentally, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor were staying here at the colony at that time. Yep. Sir Winston Churchill was a true royalist, and to pay his respects, he offered to visit the Duke of Windsor here at the Colony Hotel. And so this pretty fabulous old historic Rolls pulls up.
Right.
Sir Winston Churchill was parked in it in front of the colony, which obviously caught a lot of attention.
Amazing.
Sent up a note to the Duke of Windsor to let him know that he was here if he wanted to receive him, because he never saw him after he abdicated.
Right.
And he sat at it for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then he left. So I guess that the Duke did not want to receive him. But I just thought that was a little interesting story because it caught a lot of attention.
Palm Beach's living room, even then.
It really,
Even
absolutely.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the colony
without a doubt.
the lobby really is the living room of Palm Beach.
Yep.
And I just wanted to mention that I think it's so fascinating, the colony with your wallpaper which is who's the designer of the wallpaper?
De Gournay.
De Gournay. It's so beautiful, but it harkens back to the way Palm Beach was, a little bit jungly, a little bit mysterious.
Yep.
And it just, I love the way you've redone it.
Well, thank you. I mean, that was the intention, was to try to give a gentle nod to the way the island used to be.
Right.
Because again, I
It's
like
legacy.
reading my stories and, reading about how the lake trail ended into the wilderness. And there was
Yes.
Alligator Joe down the street
Right down the
here.
street, yeah.
And it was, where the colony sits now was mangroves and marshes.
Right.
And we've
They-
sprung from, what used to be very much a wild environment.
Absolutely.
And people would come for the season, correct?
They would
Because it
come
was
for the
such a long
season.
journey.
The season was short. It really, people arrived after Christmas or right after New Year.
Okay.
And they would stay until the end of February. So it was a very
Okay.
short season. Imagine all of the production. I mean, there was eventually 1,400 rooms at the Royal Point Sienna Hotel.
Right. That World War I, post-World War I area. And there was
Yes.
a building boom then. And then there was another building boom
In the
post-World War
40s,
II.
post-World War,
Exactly.
absolutely.
That brought us the colony
Which
at that
brought
point
us
in
the
time.
colony, exactly.
Indeed. So what other trends have been started in Palm Beach? There's a sockless trend that
Oh,
started
right,
here.
yes. Oh, right.
There you go. Gentlemen not wearing socks in this town. Tell
That
me the
is-
story, please, because
that-
I honestly don't know this story.
That's a really nice, fun story. So post-World War I gave rise to clubs in Palm Beach.
Uh-huh.
And originally the beach, what we call the beach club now, used to be the Coral Ridge Club.
Yes.
And so that was and still is today very much a family, kids running around, swimming pool. It's really a proper family club. And so it was always on the casual side. But then as Palm Beach became a little bit chicer, the manager of the club said, guys, you can't come in off the beach and come into the bar without shoes on. So to revolt, the guys put on shoes, but no socks.
But no socks.
And that's how this trend started in Palm Beach to wear shoes without socks. Yeah, that's how that got started. And it's a fun Palm Beach tradition.
That's a good factoid. I
Yeah.
love that.
Also, white pants. There's the old saying, you don't wear white between Labor Day and Memorial Day,
Okay.
except for in Palm Beach.
In Palm Beach.
And I think that actually started maybe, because I've seen photos of Flagler wearing white pants,
Of course.
but it really picked up steam in the 1920s because Addison Meisner was quite flamboyant and exotic, and so was Paris Singer. So bright jackets and all that already started really in the 1920s. Of course, Lily Pulitzer took it to a whole new level, with her juice stand that
Right.
she opened up on Worth Avenue, and she asked her dress designer to, design a uniform so that when she and her girls were serving juice at the counter there and it splashed on their clothes, you wouldn't see the stain. So the designer went over to West Palm Beach to Woolworths and got
Right.
cheap cotton
fabric.
kitchen curtain cotton material.
Yeah.
And of course it became,
The rest is history,
the
as
rest
they
is-
say.
Exactly.
I think Kent has some questions for us.
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Only Palm Beach trivia now between Rick and I, so we'll see.
Okay, right,
It's,
okay.
I would love to say it's a battle, but you know way more than I do,
Oh, well.
so it's not a
well,
battle.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But you should begin because you're my guest. So
Okay.
please lead us off.
So prior to its present pink shade,
Oh yes.
the colony has historically been two other colors. What were they?
She was originally brown with white trim when she was built in 1947, and then she was painted yellow.
Yes, you
At
got
some
it.
point in time.
Back before the 1960s, every time anybody of any importance arrived at any hotel or club, it was
Right?
announced
It
in the
was
newspaper.
paper.
I know.
Yeah. Or when they went back up north, it was announced. I mean,
They stopped that in the late 1960s because of security protocol. Of
course.
Yeah, I knew
course.
it.
okay. So who was the first female mayor of Palm Beach?
Leslie Smith?
No. Evelyn Didi
Oh, I wouldn't have known.
Merrick's. Yep.
All right.
Didi Merrick's.
All right.
Exactly.
So 1-0, you're winning.
But it was kind of a softball, Kent.
Yeah.
Okay, you're up.
Who was the first person to sell a property on Palm Beach worth $1 million or more?
Oh, goodness. So I know this one.
You're going to laugh. When you...
Wait, but it wasn't was it Paris Singer? No, it wasn't.
Hammond.
So it's Hiram Hammond.
Hiram
so
Hammond.
that's why I was sitting here, because Hiram Hammond bought the land from Paris Singer, because Paris had most of this area.
Oh, did he really?
I think
didn't
so.
know that.
I
Okay.
could be wrong, but again, I've been digging around. I'm up now. When was the first clock tower at the end of Worth Avenue built?
I'm just trying to think of the exact year, but I want to say, 2011.
Close.
Oh, okay. 2012. I don't
No,
know.
wrong direction. Go the other direction.
2010.
You nailed it.
All right. Who is the artist behind the original mural at the Colony Hotel?
Oh, so I can never pronounce his last name. His first name is Edward, but you're going to have to pronounce his last name because I butcher it every time.
I would say Bouquet.
Bouquet. Yeah.
I would say Bouquet.
And he was the inspiration for our current de Gournay mural.
Oh, really?
It was that.
Oh, is that? That's
This is
it.
a replica of the de Gournay mural. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. In 1926, this fashion retailer opened its second location here on Worth Avenue.
There were a couple, but I believe you're referring to Cartier would be.
Multi-brand fashion.
Oh, multi-brand fashion. Wait a minute. It's
They're still here today
on
Worth Avenue.
Saks Fifth Avenue.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Which U.S. First Lady is known to have frequented the Colony Hotel and considered it a favorite getaway?
Oh, why Jack Hugh, obviously. I mean, come on. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, that was a softball question.
It
there.
is. I'll
All
take
right.
everyone I can get, right? Okay. Who is Via Parigi named after?
Paris Singer. Yeah,
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also an easy one.
Also a softball. But again, we're friends, so we have
Right.
to do this to
Yeah,
each other.
exactly. Right.
So my only final question is, what do we call the Untitled talk show?
Oh, right. Sarah's sassy sauce. It's got to be something that plays off with the name Sarah, I think.
I know. Well, let's have a drink of Sarah's sassy sauce right here. Thank you for bringing me a piece of Palm Beach history to drink
Oh,
and to enjoy today. It was such a pleasure.
it was a pleasure chatting with you as always, Sarah.
As
Thank you
always.
so much
Thank
for
you.
having me on your show.
Thank you for coming. And thank you for joining. Till next time.
How was that?
Perfect, guys. Barely has to shine the moment.
I know. For once.